I am just so damned angry, it's not funny. I've just taken my membership cards from my 3 sons and myself, and I've just put them in the microwave.
Obliterating the Tigers by 113 points. It's all over. Collingwood have snatched one.
And the Tigers have got problems.
Richmond's bitterly disappointing AFL season on the field is threatening to tear the club apart off it.
They've finally done it. They've finally broken my heart. I have Flanagan followed this side for 30 years and had some pretty tough times in those 30 years, but this is it.
I found it incredibly tough. I'm not going to lie, it was a hard year for me professionally and personally at the same time. I wasn't the man that I wanted to be. I wasn't the fun, happy-go-lucky coach that I generally was.
It was well documented that by the end of the season, there was just no clear picture for me.
It was a sense of, it was like a feeling of helplessness, you know. What do we do? So yeah, it was a pretty bad time, and it wasn't a great year. You know, we were so scared of failing, and probably didn't live up to the pressure.
I've sort of felt embarrassed and humiliated that we're in the situation that we were. I got to the stage where I wouldn't even go out and get a coffee. I couldn't bear to face the scrutiny of what people were saying about me and more importantly, my club.
When you lose, you look inwardly, and when you win, you look outwardly, and right now, it's all introspective for Richmond.
Stopped speaking to my mentors and was in a really, really dark place.
Well, the morning after the best and fairest of 2016, probably my lowest point, I spoke to my father-in-law and our leadership coordinator at the time, Gerard Murphy, and it was Neville Crow's funeral that morning as well. So I just got to a point where I needed to lay it all out on the table with Dimmer, and we walked away from after the funeral just to a quiet place on our own.
I still remember at Neville Crow's funeral, me and Trent and Embrace crying together of how we felt, and the journey that we undertook. We relied on each other, helped each other.
It was a special moment. It was a unique moment because we were both trying to show that nothing was going to crack us, but it had.
And seriously, you have to be blind to understand that Hardwick is not a good coach.
I am that frustrated. I am not coming back to the football to watch Richmond this year and while Hardwick is coaching.
I always thought I was pretty strong on not letting media comments and people on Twitter and all the outside surrounds affecting me, but I probably just got to a point where there was so much of it that it started to break down the barriers that I had up that I thought were strong, and then that starts to affect your thinking.
Richmond will head into the summer with a massive review to come.
They need to start the rebuild again. It's going to be Damien's 8th year next year. His game style, to me, is outdated and isn't sort of stacking up against the opposition clubs, so massive concerns at Richmond.
I thought about, listen, is it the right time for me to step aside?
Having the thoughts that I had about captaining a great football club, I'm sure there was times where he and I don't think it would have been based on the confidence that he had in himself. It would have been for the betterment of the football club. And that's the only reason he would have ever considered walking away, I would think. I'd like to think he didn't, because we knew that he was the right man.
So after coming this far, are we going to walk away from the challenge of taking that next big step on a road to pathway to success? Are we going to hand over the club and say it's all too hard? No, we're not on my watch.
I don't reckon Dimmer's a quitter.
I was really adamant that I wanted to make amends. Season 2016 didn't define me or our club, and I was really, really driven to make sure that that wasn't the last season that Damien Hardwick was going to coach. Yeah, it brings out the emotions, there's no doubt, because season 2016 was so hard. My wife spoke to me about, listen, you're not the guy that I love or know anymore, you've changed. And it really made me think and delve into what made me me. She just wanted her best partner back. And that was a real spark to get me going. The biggest thing I found that when I was at my best from a coaching point of view, believe it or not, it was when I was coaching my daughter's under-13 basketball side, where there's no fear of outcome. It was Damien Hardwick being fun, loving what he's doing, enjoying the company of the girls that he was coaching, and just enjoying the fact that you're working with a group of people to have a common goal. But that's where I found my love of coaching again.
It wasn't like he came in and just went, righto, I've done all this work and good luck. He cleverly implemented ideas along the way. He introduced the Triple H sessions.
It dawned on me, and I was close with the players, but I wasn't close enough. I stumbled across the Triple H in a book I was reading.
The 3 H's stand for hero, hardship and highlight. Every player and staff had to present to the group their 3 H's.
Brandon Ellis spoke about his hardship as a teenager growing up and the fact that he lived in a commission flat, and he used to walk 1 kilometre further on his way home from school just so he didn't have to show that his mates he lived in a commission flat. And I felt truly embarrassed as a coach and as a person that knew Brandon for 6 years that I didn't know this.
Which just gave a deeper understanding to people, what makes them them.
We're all unique and we got to know each other on a deeper level and just, created a unbreakable connection, and it was really special.
There's no doubt it had a huge bearing on what we did in season 2017.
I think Dimma's most refreshing part of 2016's pre-season and 2017's season was just allowing people to be themselves.
It was just a happy place to be around.
And when you invest in someone and they invest in you, that's when really great things started to happen, and we actually connected and became closer as a result. AFL footy is incredibly tough, but if you make it where the players actually desire to come, you get a better result, aren't you?
It was just a very different vibe at the club, and it was very refreshing, a bit more relaxed and just a bit more of a positive environment.
We wanted the players to come in with a smile and walk away with a smile. No bad, the loss, no great, the win. We wanted to walk out every day thinking, you know what, this is a great place to be.
And for their coach tonight, Damien Hardwick, he's in his 8th season, 3 consecutive finals in 13, 14 and 15, but down to 13th place last year. We all know that Dimma needs a big year, and so do the Tigers.
That it wasn't so much worried about the win and loss, but all right, if we are going to do this, what's it going to look like? We're a strong and bold club. Well, let's play strong and bold. Let's see what that looks like, and more importantly, what it feels like.
Rioli goes bang and kicks the goal forward, banging it to full forward. Dusty.
Hard to try and chase.
He can kick a goal, the skipper.
Martin, Goldsack, chance, beautifully Greg, and kicked the ripping goal, the half-time siren.
Well done, Riewoldt, standing in the right spot for 2.
It's been a different year, and it's a different Richmond this year. That's the beauty of it for Tiger fans.
For the first time in 22 years, Richmond start the season 5-0.
Sandilands tries to get it in. Here we go. Lucky Neal from centre half forward. Leads a mark, and he's got it.
We're in a fair hole in 2017 when we lost 4 on the trot. I think we lost 3 by a goal. The Fremantle game, we didn't play well all day, and we finally got our noses in front, played some good footy, and then David Mundy, not for the first time.
This could be double deja vu. Cameron, maybe for the game. Oh, no! I'm not sure we've ever had 7 days of this heartache for an AFL team like this before. If you're still watching at home and you haven't put your foot through the telly.
Well, who'd want to be a Richmond supporter, Jason?
After the GWS game, Dimma got pretty emotional, but everyone's attitude was just, you know, let's learn from it, which we did, and it was a good thing that we learned it then rather than in the finals.
I remember people were looking for me to start to lay the boots into my side, and I sat there and I said, well, you know what? I'm so proud of these blokes. I knew with the group that we had that anything was possible. They were an outstanding group of young men that were really driven to be something special, and they loved the way they played.
Richmond coach Damien Hardwick isn't fazed by Dustin Martin meeting with the Kangaroos. The out-of-contract star is set to head to New Zealand next week to discuss his future with his father.
Yeah, obviously we flew over to see Dad, and lengthy conversations, and spoke about what I wanted and what would be best for my future.
I probably got the sense that he was a little bit more distant than what he'd normally been over the years I'd known him. And that was when I first got a little bit worried about, oh geez, this mightn't go the way that I thought it would.
Hello everyone. Well, Dustin Martin's football future appears closer to being resolved.
Dustin Martin's manager Ralph Carr has told us he remains confident that there will be a decision.
So he's obviously in New Zealand at the time, bye week leading into finals.
Where I think it was coming down to D-Day, and
for the whole year I was really, really confident that he'd be a Tiger. And then for whatever reason, there was just a moment, not a significant amount of worry, but enough for me to go.
And that was when I first got a little bit worried about, oh geez, this mightn't go the way that I thought it would.
So I was in the room on my own, and he called me in.
And I'll never forget being on the phone, and I let out a yelp like a 12-year-old schoolboy when he told me he was staying. I was that excited, I had tears.
So then I called Dimmer and I just sounded him out, tried to suss whether he knew, and
he's staying. And we both, just went crazy.
Good evening, and we start with exclusive breaking news on Dustin Martin's contract.
With reports this afternoon, Martin has agreed to stay at Richmond.
Dustin Martin will be a Tiger for life.
The amount of money he turned down to stay with us is life-changing. And that's the sort of person he is. He's incredibly loyal.
You know, I teared up. It was special, you know.
It just created a super close bond, and yeah, it's something I cherish.
Now, I'll never forget where I was when Dustin Martin called me to tell me he's staying a Richmond player for basically the rest of his life.
And this Tiger transformation is just about complete. They've gone from no hopers last year to suddenly being in the top 4.
There's a number 4 that we all hear about, Dustin Martin, and there's been no person that's had a greater influence on that bloke's career than our number 9. You know, and it's something that, Var Marich really started at our footy club, about that sweeping the sheds mentality, but that's what great leaders do, they set the example. That's what I've always loved about Trent, he's always done that.
Respectful, leads from the front, he's very humble.
It's captain of my footy club, get a bit emotional to speak about him sometimes, but, the lessons I learned from that guy are incredible.
There's more to sport and life than just winning. And for me, it was just the journey we were on together.
Well, the biggest ever qualifying crowd, Richmond and Collingwood back in 1972. 91,900, Bruce, can tell you that that's already been broken. Goodness me, a couple of smiles, and both men absolutely ecstatic to be here, involved in this game.
The Tigers have never beaten Geelong while Hardwick has been coach. This is my role, and I am recognised and almost cherished amongst the group for committing to that. It's a different Richmond feel to all those days and all those finals. It's the pressure, it's the tackling.
Martin crashing and bashing, can't quite get through.
Little handball, Butler zigging, zagging.
Because we'd lost those 3 finals previously, there was that demon of expectation that, oh geez, Richmond, they haven't won a final. Brandon Ellis and Patrick Dangerfield came together in a huge collision. Paddy gets a pat on the bum from one of his teammates. 7 guys come to Brandon Ellis. That's the love and the unity our team had for each other.
It was just so special because we had been through, thick and thin together.
That is a good.
He knew it, the Tiger Army knew it, happy supporters everywhere.
For 2 in a row.
But have a look at this. That's as good as it gets, team-wise.
Over the top was Rewalt with one hand. What a pick-up from Congin. Left foot snap. The goal of the game. Trent Congin. Look at him get
Been the most remarkable evening. Dangerfield again clutching. He's just kicked the most fabulous goal. Martin trying to get out of it, he does. And then Hooley sockers the ball forward. It's all happening. And he's kept that record going. The Tigers are into the prelim.
After the way we propelled ourselves onto the Geelong Footy Club, so you know what? We are a chance here.
You dare to dream, absolutely.
Prelim final is the purest day of footy you will get. It is for the pure footy fan, the purest of our game, and they're generally the best games of footy.
Well, I probably never thought I'd see something like this from Leeds, that there's going to be close to 100,000 supporters basically barracking for one team here today.
It's so hard to get to a final series, let alone to a prelim or to top four, but we're always confident that our best footy stacks up and we could win, but I guess going into the finals is all, yeah, why not? Why can't we win it?
Incredible, you know, to have 95% of the stadium filled in your colours was just an incredible feeling.
Who will it be? The Tigers or the Giants? We've got a whistle to start things off. And there's a whistle the Tigers way.
That first goal where Koch kicks it in, Jack Mate has a great marking contest, Dusty rows a pack, handballs at the Lambert. It was like the glass in the coach's box which sort of separates us from the fan. You could sort of see it reverberating. It was an amazing feeling. I still get shivers thinking about it.
Smothered. Dusty comes in and says, I've had enough of this. Upended Tomlinson. Look at Dusty inject himself.
The way we ran out with the game, you know, it was pretty close for a fair chunk of it.
The Tigers just starting to win the footy around the ball, starting to control it.
It was just a really, really strong feeling that anything is possible this year.
Runs to 50. Looks pretty good off the boot from Rioli. Look great off the boot. Oh, that roar. Up at the 125 dB mark. It's the loudest we've had so far. The wait is over. The Tigers, yes, the Tigers. The Tigers are in the grand final! Can you believe it? I can't. But they are.
Bloody hell.
People here. And it's just about been the toughest ticket to get for any grand final in living memory.
After you run through the banner, you go there and there's like an old schoolyard photo. I look at our players and our players are smiling and laughing, hands on shoulders. And I reckon I look at that straight away. Easy in hindsight, I know, but I think we're never going to lose this game today.
A fairy tale happening here at the MCG.
It was really special. You see the crowds there and being lucky enough to be out there and playing and feeling the energy out there, and it was just an unbelievable experience.
Douglas almost got a piece of it, long ball. Here comes Rewald! What a grab in the grand final! Jack!
Brown at the back. Martin won the footy. He wheeled his way through it. Little kick forward. Early to kick a goal. It has. Big that was.
Thought about putting it on the boot, gave it off to Castagna. Right foot snap, got it. Goodness gracious me! The Tigers have got another.
This is why we love footy. To see the emotion, the passion of these fans.
Banana, it's there. It's there from the boundary line. Look at the Tigers come from everywhere. Look at the coach's box. Look at the fans. And look at Tom Rowe. 37 years and the Tigers are kings of the jungle again. There is no doubt about it at all. It's going to finish at the Putt Road end of the ground. The Tigers are going to win the premiership in 2017. The Tigers have got home for the first time in 37 years.
And it's not just a win. drought. It's the quality of the football they've played.
I sort of needed 2016 to bring me back to what I needed to be. I got back to the coach and husband and father that I wanted to be because of that season.
It's a pretty cool story, and I think it just proves that anything's possible.
To see the joy on the fans' faces, the best thing ever. It's been a while since they've tasted success.
And finally, to the Tiger Army, this one's for you.
I always felt this belief deep inside me that we were going to get somewhere. That's a great thing about AFL. There's 17 other clubs that are sitting here thinking, this year's a year. Tell me Dustin got a bit teary too, did he or not?